Now this next question is a question that I think that most of the people that I interview are going to be rather uncomfortable answering, but I think it's really important for people to talk about themselves in a positive way. I hear people all day talking about themselves in a very negative way. It is important to value and love oneself. So I included the question of what are your top 3 best qualities? What do you like about yourself? People could tell you really quickly what they don't like about themselves. I'm not gonna let her do that. I'm not gonna let any of my guests do that.
What I like about myself. Yeah, you're right. Like it's just rude to talk about yourself. That's what we're taught, right? I would say I have a really strong work ethic. A lot of guys compliment that. A lot.
Yeah. So much so that I think you need to be sleeping more. Because she works so much.
I mean, I don't like to sleep. And
yeah,
I
it
think
can be called workaholism, but
Okay.
we'll just keep going.
Way to call me out. Okay. So someone might find that attractive.
So funny because it's like, you know when you go on a job interview and it's like, hey, what is the thing that, what is the question like, what's one thing that you may not dislike about yourself or and it's like, oh, I'm too much of a hard worker or I'm a workaholic, like, or I'm a perfectionist, like, yeah.
Okay. What was the question again?
Okay, what are the three qualities that you value in yourself? So you value your work ethic.
Yes. I think I really value just my sense of humor.
You're fun.
I can get along with anybody, even if they have like a really dark sense of humor, which is not mine. I still can totally get along with that person. And that's hard to kind of be that chameleon, but that's also what I do for a living too. I have to deal with some very difficult personalities sometimes, and you just got to do what you got to do, right?
So work ethic.
Yep.
And that you're a person who gets along with most people.
Yeah, like my sense of humor.
Oh, I'm sorry, sense of humor.
Yes.
Please forgive me, sense of humor. Yeah, you're just fun. I mean, I'll give it to her. She gets the award for fun. Like literally, we could have some Scotch tape, and we could be outside, and somehow we're gonna have fun. If she's around, there's gonna be some fun. We're gonna do something with this tape.
I'm gonna turn it into a game.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. So I would say that Chantel is very, very fun. I can actually, I give you an A+ in fun.
I mean, and I think the other thing is just I'm a really strong communicator. I talk things through in a relationship, and even in my friendships, my friends will tell you that too. I talk things through. If there's like a disagreement, I'm like, okay, if you need a minute to talk about it, I don't need a minute. Like I know what I need to say or what we're going to talk about, but I'm a really strong communicator. And a lot of times I've had people tell me, thank you for making me follow through with that communication. And not just letting me, leave and not talk about it and boil in my car or whatever. So I think that I'm a really strong communicator in my relationships.
Love that.
In my friendships.
In your friendships?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you find the people that well, I won't ask that question. I'll keep going.
Okay.
Okay. What do you value in a romantic partner?
What do I value? I would say the first thing that comes to mind would be their personality. I need someone, like I said before, like I want to know that they don't have to be as outgoing as me, but they have to have a fun personality. They can't be somebody where we're going to go out and they're just going to be sit at the opposite side of the bar, not talking to anybody. And I think just honesty.
Yeah,
I know
huge.
that's sometimes really hard for people.
Yeah, honesty is really important.
And I think the third thing would just be hardworking in general, whether it's at home or, the work that you have to put towards to make a relationship successful, to be marriage minded, or with their family if they have some difficult relationships at home. I just like that they are hardworking and willing to put forth effort in life, regardless of what they do, not just their job.
It's interesting. Is it Well, what does it tell you about a partner if they're hardworking?
That they might be a really good fit for the long haul because they're willing to work through things even when it gets tough.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. Hardworking, not just at a job, but hardworking at relationships, hardworking at life. Tells Chantel that, okay, they're not going to kind of bail when it gets tough. They know what it's like to kind of roll up their sleeves and do what it takes to make a relationship work.
Yeah.
So, what's your biggest turn off? I know what you're going to say to this, by the way, because you kind of hinted. What's your biggest turn off?
Okay, well, I really don't like bad smells. So bad hygiene, but I would say, it's kind of what I said before. Like, I don't like personalities that are,
A
conflict.
Turn off is more of a bad table manners,
Oh, God, that's awful too.
When somebody cannot use their knife and fork, like when it's like this with the fork,
my number one,
that is just like bad smells, a little bit of BO.
I
You can
can't.
always use deodorant.
No.
Hey, baby, why don't you use a little bit of deodorant? That can be solved. I guess you could solve the fork issue too.
I know. I don't know. It's just, for me, it's like personality. A personality can turn you off this quick.
No.
Everything else,
you're right.
everything else, you're right. It can be fixed, right? Hygiene, manners, how to teach them how to use their fork and knife. But personality, that takes, and sometimes they will never change because that's who they are. And I would not want to change somebody. So if I get to a date and this person is just
kind of an asshole.
Yeah, or just rude.
Nobody really likes assholes.
Yeah,
Yeah, difficult personalities. I find that really...
That's just a huge turnoff to me. So, personalities that are just not not fun.
Yeah.
I just can't.
No, it makes sense.
Everything else I could probably work with. I could fix somehow or look
Even
past.
those bad smells.
Yes, we'll figure it out.
Soap and water, a little bit of deodorant.
We'll figure it out.
Sometimes in cultures that doesn't matter as much. I always tell that story about how Napoleon, have you heard this story?
Yes.
Yeah, how Napoleon told Josephine he was coming back from battle and he told her not to wash for 2 weeks.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he wanted her ripe.
Some people are into it. No judgment.
So, does size matter? And we're talking about penis size.
Yes. For me personally, yes.
Really?
Yes, but I know friends, and I'm not, some of my gal pals, they do not care. It is all about the motion for them. Or lack of motion, they're into other stuff. They could care less about the size of the man's package.
Yeah. Well, because we know only a third of women reliably have orgasm from vaginal intercourse. So,
Yeah.
it's,
Some of them just could care less.
yeah.
What you have going
If
on
he's got
down there.
meaty fingers, maybe he might have a problem with that.
Or what's working, what's going on up here?
But it does, but you said size matters.
It does to me, yes. Yes.
Wow, that's really interesting. I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Really?
No.
Oh my gosh, yes, it definitely does.
It does.
Yeah,
okay.
and if they don't, then there's other things in life that
Are you sad?
What do you mean? I'm a little disappointed, when it's not quite.
What pressure men have.
Yeah.
Like you're taking your pants off and it's like.
I'm like,
like,
so there's a Tokyo Valentino down the road. Would you like to go with me?
That's like this shop in Atlanta. I don't know if they have them other places, but couples, I always recommend that my couples go there and have a date night. It's really fun.
It is. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's not to it's actually to encourage them,
You're like, pull your pants back up. Let's go to Tokyo Valentino now.
It's not quite that bad.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry, hit my mic. It's like, that's right away. Poor guy. Guys, I feel for you. I promise you, I got you on this one. Size, yeah, it's really interesting. Just keep listening. We're gonna interview more women. Man,
I'm tough.
and if a man has like a small penis, he's like, it's in his head.
I mean, I think they know. They know what's
What do you
average
think
and
from the
what's
locker
not.
room and stuff?
I mean, they can Google search. What's the average size? They know.
Do men
know.
Google search? I'm gonna ask my cameraman. Do they Google search? He says no.
You don't know what the average size is.
I never Googled.
He said he never Googled.
If you have a questionable size, I'm sure you would Google. I'm just saying. I'd be like, I want to know if I'm average or not.
So we're okay. So my cameraman has confidence. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that.
He's got some swag.
He's like, I don't need a Google.
I know what I have.
He's like, I got this.
Okay.
Good Lord.
We're gonna get serious.
Okay.
Does level of education determine attractiveness?
Not for me.
Not for you.
No. Not at all. I mean, I have friends that didn't even complete high school that own several companies and are very successful entrepreneurs. So no. To me, it really just matters about your work ethic and, you know, whether you're doing something with yourself. I mean, and of course I'm an entrepreneur, so I love entrepreneurs in general. So no.
Okay. Because it's interesting because there's a lot of people that work really, really hard and they don't have the education and yet I see women kind of turned down, and I'm talking about heterosexuals, good men, because they're not a lawyer or they're not an MBA or something like that, and you're saying for you that just doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I don't quite understand that. To me, if you have a hardworking man and, you know, he's successful in his own right, what does it matter about some degree? I just, just me personally.
No, I hear you. I hear you. And especially if he really feels good about that, meaning that he's okay, he's comfortable in his own skin, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of like our cameraman with Googling. I cannot let him get away with that.
That was awesome. It's like,
so, what do you physically like? Like, what turns you on? We probably already know the answer to this question.
okay. Depends on what kind of scene I'm walking into.
What does that mean?
I mean, it just depends on where I'm going. You know, if I'm going to our favorite place that we go to dance here in Atlanta, I mean, I have my pick of wide variety, right? And there's multiple kinds of different guys that turn me on there. But then if I'm going to, I went to, what's that new place? Pasha, off of Miami Circle.
Yeah.
The other night.
How was that?
It was amazing. I walk in and I'm just like a kid in a candy store, you know, everybody just.
So all the unicorns were gathered in one place.
Yes. It was a beautiful scene. And
wow.
my guy friend that I was with, he was like, well, I guess I should have dressed up a little more. Like, he's like, I think I needed to go to the gym this morning because everybody was just beautiful. And I mean, I'm very turned on by someone with confidence and, you know, a great smile that just kind of puts off a good energy. It's huge to me.
People don't smile as much, and especially in a bar, it's like people are kind of giving the stink eye. I wonder if we just smiled at each other more, you know, walking around, but then think about those of you who are dating, if you just smiled more. You smile all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a great smile is a really nice thing.
It's huge. And a guy that smiles is just like, oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
that is
amazing.
really- that is really-
It's so attractive.
Okay, men, smile more.
Smile more. We want to see your teeth.
Yeah. So, what would you rather have? Like, so let's say that you've met this guy, you met him at, I was gonna say Tinder, but let's say you met Jason Momoa, and I don't know.
Okay.
Is he not your type? Who's your type?
No, he's hot. I'd go for him.
So you met Jason Momoa, and you know, you guys are like talking, chatting up, and he says, hey, I'm going to give you a call. Let's go out for a date. And Jason calls. Do you want him to take you to Starbucks for a coffee, or would you rather him plan like a dinner or a movie?
So I'm not into going to the movies, especially for a date, because you can't talk.
Yeah, but you get to see their sense of humor, and it's like fun, and you kind of get to do that whole
cheesy,
maybe a little
cheesy, like little first
cheesy,
move.
yeah.
You can do that at dinner too, and talk.
I don't know.
I like dinners. You know, I love to cook, and I'm a foodie, so I really like interactive first dates, because it just tells me a lot about that person, like how their mannerism towards other people, or like I really love like cooking first dates. You know, like the little cooking classes that you can take. It also can tell me whether they have any kind of home skill.
So then are you saying that Jason, you want a nighttime date, Jason calls up and says, hey, let's go to dinner or let's do a class, but do you want him to tell you what you guys are going to do?
Yeah, I love that. I love when
You're
guys,
okay with
I love when guys take
like,
initiative. That's hot.
That's hot.
Love it. It's hot.
Okay, that's
a turn
hot.
on.
Okay, you
It's
guys,
a turn
that's a
on.
turn on. You want Jason to, you know, plan the date and surprise you. I honestly, if I were in the dating scene, I'd want Jason to say something like, what kinds of foods do you like? You know, do you like casual dining? Or just because, I don't know. I can't think of a food I don't like.
I mean, I guess I'll give feedback. Like if they were like, hey, we're going to go to so-and-so, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been there, it's awful, then I would give that kind of feedback. But I also don't like to be discouraging either, because I feel like sometimes, and I've done this a couple times, they're like, well, you've shot down 2 places that I suggested. I'm like, they were good. Like, I'm just trying to save you from a really bad
So
meal.
you'd rather show up to the bad restaurant?
No, like I'll give feedback, but I also don't want to discourage them, because I love that initiative, you know?
Okay. No, that makes sense. It really does. It's
I like the excitement. It's cute.
So then who pays? So that's the next question. Do you split? Does the person who does the asking, do they pay?
I mean, I typically have always had guys pay for me, but I always offer. I'm like, I'll get my part, and they're like, no, oh my gosh, no. I mean, I really only had one guy.
Is it like a not really an offer to pay?
I mean, I would absolutely pay my part, but
Okay.
I mean, most of the time a guy does not want you to pay their part. So I always have my card out waiting to go, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, paying.
Because that's a lot. It's a lot of pressure.
Yes. And I don't want
men
that. I don't want them to feel like they have to pay for my food.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I hear you. A lot of women feel that Kevin and I, we always split things a lot. And when we first were dating, we did like lots of Mexican, that's what we would go for, like dates.
Yeah.
But you're saying that you think that most women want men to pay?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they do too. I've heard that a lot.
And a lot of them will not even offer. They expect it, but I always pull my card out and I'm like, I am happy to pay for my, my stuff. And they're like, stop it. Just put your card away. So.
Okay. So they need to be well endowed. And they gotta have, they don't have to.
No.
But you do prefer that they pay. So let me ask you this. This is the last question. Given that we've kind of gone through dating and how it's difficult and there's not enough time, etc. How do you feel? Do you feel encouraged or discouraged about dating?
I think I'm like some of my friends. I go through phases. There'll be times where I'm like, okay, having a good streak. And then there's other times where I'm just like, I'm logging off for like quite a while. So I definitely am in that vicious cycle.
Cycle of like, okay, I'm dating. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I've met a lot of guys. that I don't like, and so now.
And I'm so easily turned off like by it. I can be 2 bad dates and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do me, be with my friends, travel, family, workaholic status, digging deep, and I could just totally like be fine doing that. But then I'll be like, it would be nice to like have somebody to like go to this place I want to do, or like if I'm going to go on a family trip or a friend's trip, I'm like, it'd be nice to have a date. So then I'm like, I guess I'll date again. You know, hoping that like I'll meet somebody maybe this time around because it's spring and it's not winter, it'll be different. You know, you never know.
Like bees to honey or whatever
there's
it is.
seasons
like
for
bees to
dating,
flowers.
apparently. I didn't even know that, but there's seasons for dating.
Are there?
Yes, cuffing season. People like boo up for the winter so that they have someone.
Wow.
I just learned this last year.
My cameraman is shaking his head too.
I just learned this last
I'm
year.
just so out of the loop.
Me too.
Cuffing
Really. Season.
Cuffing.
Legit season for cuffing someone.
So you have a boo for the winter.
Yes.
Okay. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye. I hope that you will tune in and hear different opinions and tune in for our finale. Again, it's going to be a few weeks in the making, and so we'll probably release one of these every few weeks. And hopefully you guys will enjoy them. I hope you will, because I certainly have enjoyed conducting these interviews. I want to just thank Chantel so much for being here, being so honest and upfront about, you know, what you want. And I wish you luck.
Thank you.
And love and lots of happiness.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. You guys, you know the name. I'm Chantel Cohen, and I hope you all become one again. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Just hit the button. We have loads and loads of videos. Some are short, some are long. We have various topics. Also follow us on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. It's been my pleasure. See you soon.